What's up, everybody? It's your brother over here for another reaction. How you doing? How you doing? Sorry. Whew. So today we'll be reacting to another Censored part, and this is an old video. It was recommended to me, and yeah, I had to agree. This is me. I saw the thumbnail. I'm like, oh, we're going for that one. Okay. So if you read the title, "The Uncomfortable World of Censored Cartoons," which. Yeah. Wait, censored cartoons? What do you mean? Any part of the world do you try to see your first show? Censored. If it be like religion, sex, anything. Take example, Toll Drama Island. If you saw the thumbnail, like, wait, that actually happened? Oh yeah. There was an actual leak footage of the famous scene where you have I forgot name this guy is during the mud race on jet skis on the mud race, and Heather's tried to cut Harold's rope after he collected all the flags. She tried to cut his rope, but Branch snagged her top and peekaboo, titties appear, which. And actually, the first time I see that uncensored, like, this can't be real. I look at information. Oh yeah, it's real. They actually animate that scene and then censor it. Remember, it's from Canada. And down in the US, oh boy, do they love their guns and everything, but when it comes to see some nips, whoo, they try to throw out the so-called Bible of Donald Trump right in their faces. Oh boy, but I want to hear what Sarah has to say, because there's a lot more than that. Let's check it out, shall we? Let's go.
Hey folks, how's it going? Today we are diving into the shocking and uncomfortable world of censored cartoons. Whenever I hear about a movie or cartoon getting censored,
yeah,
I immediately become morbidly curious.
I saw that.
Like I have to find the original scene for context and see what I missed.
For kids.
What exactly happened? Why is it now considered too much? Now, my first time stumbling across a censored animated segment
I know what you're
was for
talking about.
Disney's Fantasia. I loved that movie as a kid, and I still do. So when I discovered that there was an uncensored version of the movie, I was like, oh, I guess that dinosaur scene was a little too violent.
Nope.
Or maybe Night on Bald Mountain was a little too demonic. Now, I can't wait to see what Good God, Disney. I knew you had a history. I knew about Jim Crow from Dumbo. But I did not expect this. Nowadays, Disney is much more upfront about their dated depictions of put in.
Sure. And then here's the funny part. They're more upfront when it comes to their more famous animated projects. When it comes to their live action, for say, Song of the South, they don't dare to touch it with a 10-foot pole, or even show it to the public, after it was last seen in theaters in the 50s. And yes. And let me read this little quote here, which, let me move my fat face here, which this should be: this program includes negative depictions of and or mistreatment of people of cultures the stereotypes that then are around now. Rather than remove this content, we acknowledge its harmful impact and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. I wonder why you don't bring Song of the South in Disney Plus. I don't think there's any problem with that right there. People actually know what they're about to see. And yet, they don't want to touch it. I think the ones who acknowledge it is Japan. And they actually have physical media for that film. I think in YouTube you actually find it in public domain, so good luck burying that in the ground. Any other cartoon studio trying to hide? I try to remember. Let's see. Warner Brothers. No, they show a lot. I think you'll talk about more.
nicely. And they don't censor things as much as they used to. But there are plenty of other movies and shows out there that censor, cut, and flat out ban things that are considered a little too spicy.
Rocco's Modern Life.
So join me
Called
as we
drama.
take a closer look at the uncomfortable world of censored cartoons. First thing on the list is the Garbage Pail Kids, which apparently the entire animated series was unaired in the U.S. I hated this show, by the way. I did not like the way it looked. It looked gross. During the early 1980s, there was a toy phenomenon called the Cabbage Patch Kids. If you were there for it, congrats. There's your senior discount. These dolls were basically kind of like ugly rag dolls with molded plastic faces.
God, what even is a Cabbage Patch Kid? It's like you're cutting into a head of lettuce and, oh shit, a baby.
During the hype, they had some competition from a period series making fun of them.
Oh, you've heard the description from the Addams Family Values, where once they said, when the little girl in the hospital, in the waiting room says, and Diamond driving the Cabbage Patch, and they have a baby. Pugsley, our parents had a baby too. Was they? They had sex. The way she just dropped that, like, right in that poor innocent child, like, oh boy.
That was called the Garbage Pail.
Oh yeah.
Kids. Hell, there were even trading cards of them. They kind of became the Pokemon cards of the 80s.
Oh yeah.
But instead of cute Japanese monsters, the characters had gross out art and puns for their names,
Atom
like
Bomb.
Atom Bomb. It's pretty badass, actually. Atom Bomb. That's too good, guys. I want that name. Give me that name. They became so popular. There was a feature film.
Oh yeah. And that film flopped big time because I think it would have been better for you as an animated movie. Live action, didn't work out well. But the actors who played, the Garbage Pail Kids, they had fun. At least they had fun playing their characters.
Released in 1987, which is one of the worst movies ever made, and it's so gross that it's nigh unwatchable.
I know it's weird, but come on. Wendy Winston.
But their popularity was undeniable.
Toy Store.
There was an animated series in development at the same time.
Store.
However, due to protests from concerned parent groups and network officials.
Oh, I remember this. There was a documentary about the Garbage Pail Kids. This was mentioned because parents... No, this was part of the lineup of Saturday morning cartoons back in the day. Along with, I don't know what other popular cartoons, like G.I. Joe, the Ninja Turtles, their lineup. Man, the Karens went backfired so hard, they had to take... No, they literally completed the full series, and when those Karens started barking, they had to pull the series out. They never showed the light of day until the early 2000s when they managed to get their physical copy of all the episodes at the time, which is insane. Like, hey, it's a cartoon. No kids that stupid to do it like that. Ask the idiots who try to impress the cool kids.
It's for CBS. They outright refused to air the series. Like for the US, this series never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
It only aired for one season of 13 episodes in the UK and in other parts of Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Germany, Italy, Spain, and France.
How about this one? I call it Bold.
The fact it was aired in UK, Japan, Italy, Germany, and the US? Nope. I'm like... It was made in the US, but it was never aired in the US. What the fuck?
And brag. More like belongs in the trash. Ah!
Damn, those Europeans. I'm typically not envious of them, but
hey,
they got to see things. They got to see the Ark of the Covenant, right? Next, there is rude removal from Dexter's lab. Now, I heard about this one. It sounded like it was made up, but I assure you, it is real. You can go on YouTube right now and watch it with your own eyes. Rude removal is a notorious unaired episode of the hit 1990s series, Dexter's Lab. In it, Dexter creates an invention that isolates the rudeness out of a person. But of course, during a fight with his sister, both Dexter and Dee Dee have their rudeness extracted, resulting in polite and rude versions of the siblings. Two of them who are polite, and then two of them who are just abhorrent.
Why, you're in Dexter's laboratory, silly. I'm Dexter, and this golden-haired angel behind me is my charming sister, Dee Dee. Charmed! Off! Oh!
Due to its rampant use of bleep swear, the episode was only shown at animation festivals and was never officially aired on Cartoon Network. That is, until Adult Swim had asked fans on Twitter if there was still any interest in seeing it. I assure you, there was a lot of interest.
Hold it. I'm just hiding the middle finger. There it is. There's the bird. I'm sorry. McCracken? Well, there's a reason why they give Dexter the certified mooning award. If it was Dee Dee, oh boy. Perils will be backfiring.
I would know. I raised my hand.
Yep.
Rude removal was uploaded onto both YouTube and Adult Swim's website for a limited time. Until being set to private shortly afterwards.
Damn.
Unfortunately, and also fortunately, when something is uploaded to the internet,
it stays there forever.
So guess what? It's you can still YouTube that, guys. You can check it out right now.
Yeah.
I also found it on Internet Archive without any issues. The episode itself is pretty short, but the lengths they went with it were hilarious. My head was spinning. There are words said in it that will make you laugh pretty damn hard. Just censor the word damn. I said damn. Damn! Stop censoring that word! Next we have Ren and Stimpy, man's best friend. Which, this episode has such excessive violence and cruelty that it led to John K. getting fired from Ren and Stimpy. It should have been for other reasons, right?
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy remains a controversial show since it first aired on Nickelodeon in the early 1990s. I was there, Gandalf. I saw it. I remember watching Doug and Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy. But by far, the episode that changed nearly everything for the series going forward was Man's Best Friend. Mm-hmm. The story follows George Liquor.
George Liquor.
All right. George Liquor adopting Ren and Stimpy from a pet store and forcibly training them into becoming obedient pets by scaring the living daylights out of them. What ultimately got the episode banned was the excessive verbal abuse and extreme cartoon violence involving Ren beating the crap out of George with an oar. You know, for kids. The network obviously had no intention of airing this episode because,
you got the scene where George gives them lawn cigars, which is actually it's actually shit. They finally, it was actually cigars, which, what the fuck? I think it was part of the part. No, Ren and Stimpy. Sorry. As I was saying, Ren and Stimpy, you have a lot of I think the more infamous is the party cartoons, which first time you see some titties, huh? Yeah, there's a scene where you have Ren and Stimpy competing against, well, for being a better ladies man, and one of them being a type of, I don't call waiter, the type of guys who help you with the shower. Those guys, in which it's actually pretty funny.
What did they think was going to happen? Man's Best Friend became the last straw for Nickelodeon, as there had been substantial pushback and internal fighting between them and the creator, John K., from the very start. His animation company, Spumco, was constantly missing episode deadlines because of the excessive micromanagement by John, causing heavy delays in their production. aka a loss of money,
Yep.
and more money on top of that. When he wouldn't back down while fighting them over airing Man's Best Friend, John was ultimately fired by Nickelodeon. Hey, good riddance.
Yeah.
They terminated his contract, kicked him off his own show, and replaced Spumco with Games Animation, their own in-house production company, with Spumco co-founder Bob Camp replacing John as the director and showrunner. This episode did eventually end up airing on TV over 20 years later,
yeah.
but not on Nickelodeon. Oh no, they don't air cartoons. Yeah, I said
Nope.
it. But for real, it was a soft launch episode for Ren and Stimpy's adult party cartoon.
Yep.
Airing on June 23rd, 2003 on
First
Spike
network
TV.
for men.
Now that show had its own problems with censorship. And also just being a profoundly terrible mess. But if I got into that, I'd be here all day. And I know
What
you all
the
don't
fuck?
want that. Next, we got Cow and Chicken, the
yeah,
Buffalo Gals. Oh, you want to know why this one got censored? Stereotypes of lesbians. And this one,
Yep.
like, this aired. The ones from before, up to this point, haven't aired officially on
Spanish
American
version?
TV. This one did. I would know. I saw it. Mom? Well, why are those ladies doing that to the carpet? Mom, I don't understand. Can you explain? Also, is there a God? This segment of Cow and Chicken only aired once on Cartoon Network on June 27th, 1998. In it, Cow befriends a group of female bikers called the Buffalo Gals, who break into their home and start eating their carpet. As one does, I guess.
Yep.
Cow sneaks out to join their biker club. But Chicken follows her, trying to protect his sister, only to get stuck in a heated game of softball. Folks, I genuinely have no idea how this episode even made it to air. The entire plot revolves around very obvious stereotypes and innuendos about lesbians for some reason. But parents definitely noticed and complained to the network to have it removed from future reruns.
Seriously?
This episode is now considered lost media
Damn.
because it's not available on any streaming service.
Really?
But hey, it's the internet, thank God. You can still find it online pretty easily. Though I would not recommend checking it out. It was short, but very pointless, and not that good. You know, I didn't care for Cow and Chicken in general. Just gonna say it. Not one of my favorites. Next, we have My Little Pony,
no.
Friendship
What's
is Magic, the last roundup. Oh man,
is it derp?
I was in the trenches during this time, okay? I'm sure there's some viewers right now watching going, is Saber talking about ponies? He never does
Horse
this.
famous.
He never does this. Well, this episode of My Little Pony is considered deep fandom lore. The overall plot, like Bronies had an absolute meltdown over this one. Again, I would know.
Who was it?
I was there.
Derp?
The overall plot itself doesn't have anything to do with the controversy, like the episode itself. It was more about the show finally making the fan-named background pony, Derpy Hooves, canon to the series.
Now,
Derpy.
careful, Derpy! I don't want to do any more damage than you've already done.
You all ready for some lore? Here we go. Fans first noticed Derpy as a background pony in episode 1, and that helped her to gain her own nickname from the fandom named Derpy. Why? Because she had crossed eyes due to an animation error. Now, for those who don't know, derp is online slang for someone who is silly, stupid, or idiotic. And from that, an anonymous user on 4chan dubbed her Derpy Hooves. And the name 100% stuck, becoming an inside joke. Derpy is like one of the most beloved characters in the Brony fandom.
Yeah.
Just let you all know, Bronies would watch like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic like the day of. We would all collectively watch it online and then rant about it afterwards. And the absolute bombshell of having Rainbow Dash say, "Careful, Derpy!" We all lost our minds. Let me explain. After the opening titles in the last roundup, Rainbow Dash has a conversation with Derpy. You got Derpy who like accidentally bumps into Rainbow Dash, and because they're getting ready for some like preparation for a big town event. And we got to hear Derpy talk. Get to hear her actually call Derpy and get to hear her say, "Sorry, Rainbow Dash." Again, fandom went nuts. We felt so seen and happy from it. But some viewers objected to the voice used for Derpy,
Yeah.
along with her name, believing it made her character come across as having a learning disability. Hasbro and their
Seriously?
TV network, The Hub, received several emails from viewers complaining about her depiction. Rather than risk worse optics, because God have mercy when it comes to parents, right? They
Yeah.
changed the episode, with Derpy's voice being redubbed and her name being just dropped completely.
Now careful.
That was like a knife to the heart.
Yep.
We all, as a fandom, collectively mourned the loss of Derpy. It was like we were seeing, never mind, can't do that, change it. We were heartbroken.
Yeah.
We knew that Derpy lived on in our hearts. There actually was like a Save Derpy like campaign at the time where we're like, we have to save Derpy. I was part of that. It was a group effort from the fandom, and we kind of succeeded. Let me explain. So Derpy's name has actually been changed several times throughout the series, from Derpy Hooves to Ditsy Doo to Muffins. But despite this, Derpy has remained one of the most enduringly popular G4 ponies in the MLP fandom, and we even got to see her again in episode 100. So, in a way, ultimately, all's well that ends well.
Dr. Hooves.
That was so long ago. Folks, we've been swimming in the sea of our year, 2025, for 4 months now. More like drowning, right? I wonder how many of us have been keeping up with those fitness goals we've set for ourselves at the start of the year. Personally, I've been keeping to my workout schedule, despite my busted foot that I broke a year ago, and only found out...
I think I might skip this ad, so let me pause this for a moment. And we're back. Thanks for waiting.
And $24 Cabana sets. Thanks again to Fabletics for partnering up with us for this video. And now, back to the video. Next, we have Total Drama Island. Which, by the way, has like there's a lot of censored moments in this show, but there's one in particular I'm talking about. Season 1, episode 13. Total Drama Island was a unique concept at the start, and is a very popular show, and remains very popular. It's kind of troubled as well, but, you know, maybe it's a what we're in video down the road. So Total Drama is an animated reality show like Survivor, but involving Canadian teenagers. But as Total Drama went on, it kind of like devolved into adding a ridiculous amount of, you know, edishes. But hey, I've already done a video about that. I've got the beatings from YouTube to prove it. I can only take so many characters huffing, you know, farts. God, what's wrong with this show, right? However, some of the jokes that worked on Teletoon up north, up in Canada, would not fly down here in the lower 48.
No shit.
Most of the censored bits were relatively simple changes that piled up over time. Like modifying borderline inappropriate language into more Y7 friendly terms, like changing crap into crud, or sucks into stinks. But the most notorious example of censorship on Total Drama Island involved a topless shot of Heather, the mean girl of season 1. Let me explain. Near the end of episode 13, Heather tries to eliminate her competition, Harold, aka Napoleon Dynamite, during one of their challenges. But part of her top conveniently gets stuck on a tree branch, and then this happens. Now, there was some debate going around online if what we saw with the uncensored version was fan-made or not. But no, Todd Kaufman, the director of Season 1 of Total Drama Island, confirmed it was real, but that the unedited version had been leaked online. They showed Heather's chest unpixelated in the original cut before being censored for broadcast. But Harold's reaction, that also changes wildly for the US version. Boobies. Next, we have just The Simpsons, a variety of episodes for a variety of reasons.
Okay, I did not knew that. I first watched Total Drama Island when it first came out, and I did not knew that. Not one bit. I know there were censorships like, of course, Owen going butt naked every time. And of course, there are some times where it was suggestions like the middle finger, you name it. But even cursing, which, remember, in Canada, they're okay. US, oh boy, they censor to even the shoes they wear. In episode 13, oh boy, did I remember that scene. And I did not know Harold said boobies. When I saw that episode, he said booyah. I just remember the end where he gets eliminated, and when LaShawn says, "Wait, whose tits did you saw?" Heather opens the door when they have to win that nice hot shower. Oh boy. The fact she thought that Harold saw her tits, like, if Harold saw LaShaw's tits, damn, he's getting more chocolate milkshakes right there. Oh boy. But yeah. The Simpsons? Woo! And this is from last year, so there's a lot more.
Of this year, The Simpsons has been airing for over 36 years. That's older than me,
Yep.
my God.
Same here.
Which is still basically
Since
unheard
1989.
of for any other TV show. But just because they've been around for a long time does not mean that all of their episodes have aged that well.
Yep.
From the content of the episodes to featured guest stars. And no,
Oh, boy.
I'm not talking about Elon on this list. I hate him.
I know
don't
who you're
wanna talk
talking about.
him. That would be the obvious joke, but it does not make for a good story. The first episode, we have the city of New York versus
the
Homer
Twin
Simpson.
Towers.
Why did it get in trouble? Well,
9/11
terrorist attacks, that's why. One censored Simpsons episode features Homer having to go to New York City to retrieve his stolen car.
And this is an
Marge
old one.
and the kids tagging along to do sightseeing.
Wait.
While they have
What'd
fun
you say?
exploring,
Season
Homer.
6?
One censored Simpsons episode features Homer having. First
Right here.
episode, we have the city of New York versus Homer Simpson. Why did it get in trouble? Well, 9/11 terrorist attacks. That's why. One censored Simpsons episode features
Yeah,
Homer
that was,
having to go
what
to New
season was
York
that one?
City to retrieve his stolen car, with Marge,
Oh,
the
yeah.
kids, tagging along to
Okay,
do
Bart
sightseeing.
Smiley like, oh boy.
While they have fun exploring, Homer is stuck dealing with his car troubles in the
Yeah.
middle of the World Trade Center plaza.
Your vehicle is illegally parked at One World Trade Plaza.
Now, this was the season 9 premiere episode, and originally
Play
came
that
out.
again.
Now, this was the season 9 premiere
Oh,
episode,
season 9.
and originally came out on September 21st, 1997. But after the September 11th terrorist attacks in
1997. Let's see. 5 years before 9/11, and yet. Coincidence? I don't know. The Simpsons have a bit of a habit of predicting the future, and. Ooh, boy.
2001, it was taken out of syndication for 5 years
Damn.
out of consideration for the lives lost. This episode was included in conspiracy theories during the 9/11 aftermath,
Yep.
involving the price of a bus ticket from Springfield to
Yeah,
New York City.
I remember.
Some people thought that The Simpsons had a way of predicting the future, when in reality it was just like coincidence and a joke about Springfield's location and the US being inconsistent. Now, you can easily watch this episode on Disney Plus today. It's available. Independent of using the Twin
yeah.
Towers as a focal point, it holds up incredibly well, giving us the first appearance of Duffman and the greatest drink known to man.
Why do you have to wash that awful taste out of my mouth?
Mountain Dew or crab juice?
Ugh! Oh, jeez. I'll take a crab juice.
Next, we have Stark Raving Dad, aka the Michael Jackson abuse allegations. Back in the early 1990s, The Simpsons was the
we all know
hottest
that's
sitcom
bullshit.
on American television. And it wasn't even close. So much so that the biggest celebrities of the time wanted to be immortalized as a guest on it. And in the world of 90s pop music, there was no bigger star than Michael Jackson. He was a huge fan of The Simpsons. And the season 3 premiere episode, Stark Raving Dad, was written
Season
completely
3.
around his
That was
involvement.
1991, wasn't
In
it?
it, Homer is accidentally sent to a
Yep.
psychiatric hospital for wearing a pink shirt to work. Ho! Who would do that?
What
His
the
roommate
hell?
at the facility is a large but soft-spoken man named Leon Kompowski, who Homer believes is
It's Michael Jackson.
Jackson.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Michael Jackson from the Jacksons.
I'm Homer Simpson from The Simpsons.
Due to contract obligations with his
Yeah.
record label, Jackson went uncredited as a voice actor, instead being given the pseudonym John J.
Yeah.
Smith. He didn't actually sing any of the songs featured in the episode either. Happy Birthday Lisa was actually sung by a sound-alike named Kip Lemon,
Yeah, and
lead
Michael was
singer
there
of the
watching
band
it.
Venice.
So there was a guy who on that day had been handpicked by Michael Jackson to sing like Michael Jackson
Yeah.
in front of Michael Jackson.
Despite being well received when it first came out, this episode was pulled from syndication after the release of the explosive HBO documentary Leaving Neverland. It detailed the lengthy history
Which is full of garbage. And everybody who knows the truth about Michael knows this is garbage. And the fact that critics actually praise for this, they need to get their hard drives checked. They need to get checked. The feds, yeah, that's them. Check their hard drives. Jesus. And the fact that after the release of the biopic, of Michael Jackson's biopic, whoo boy. Man, these people, no, they try to keep suing the estate, which, first of all, Michael's been dead since 2009. Let the man rest in peace. But there's a bunch of greedy assholes. Some who were once kids who visited Michael Jackson's, Neverland Ranch, and his parents like, how about we make a rumor about this guy's being a pervert? We can get some big moolah. Yeah. The people who made this? Look for money. But only God knows the truth. And Michael. Rest in peace.
two men who claim Michael Jackson groomed and sexually abused them as kids
Yep.
during the early 1990s. Even now, the episode is not available for streaming on Disney Plus. Given
Yeah.
that the plot specifically involves
Yeah.
Michael's animated stand-in, befriending a 10-year-old boy, yeah, it's probably best to leave this one in the past. Next, we
Hey,
have
Bart.
SpongeBob SquarePants
Oh.
Mid-Life Crustacean. The
I
early
know
seasons
what
of
you-
SpongeBob
I know
have
that
mostly
stuff.
aged incredibly well. And at first, I was kind of surprised
Sorry,
to
falling
see this
asleep.
one on this list. But when it comes to certain jokes feeling a little out of place, yeah, I guess I can
Yeah.
see why Midlife Crustacean was pulled from Nick reruns and streaming. The plot follows Mr. Krabs having a
I remember
midlife crisis.
this.
Hey, right there
Damn.
with you, buddy. And wanting to feel young
Dude,
again by
I
hanging out with
remember when
SpongeBob and
I
Patrick.
saw this cartoon on
But because they're
Nickelodeon,
huge
like,
nerds, most of their
the
favorite
hell?
activities don't interest him.
oh yeah.
Feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Art thou feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
D&D. Man, no. When I was a kid, when I saw this, I was like, what the hell they're playing? A teenage/adult me. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons. The fact that Mr. Krabs has two wizard hats. Well, okay, so Patrick is dressed as a paladin. SpongeBob an elf. I guess Mr. Krabs is a wizard.
You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
That quote still lives rent-free in
Yep.
my head. Before he leaves for the night,
Patrick.
Patrick casually mentions one
Oh,
last activity
doing
planned for
ready
the
for the
evening
panty
that
raid.
takes things to a completely different level.
I guess you're gonna miss the
panty raid.
I first saw this episode as a kid, and I loved
remember
it.
that, and
It just
I didn't
seemed so
get it.
dumb that they were stealing underwear. I didn't.
I didn't get the joke until I realized, wait, a panty raid? Is that a thing you see in sororities and summer camps? Which, yeah, I think that was a thing back in the early days. Now it's just, well, yeah, frowned upon these days. Even though you got some lying holes, extending more of a big fat lie to screw people up. But yeah, I remember the scene from Revenge of the Nerds, which, wow, it was the panty scene where they try to get back at the popular girls for, that prank. And then, let's just say, whoo boy, it went full bananas. And yes, I'm falling asleep so for some reason. Weird.
Really even question why they went this route with the third act.
Yeah.
But as an adult, yeah, the more
I
you think
get
about it, the weirder
midlife
this resolution
crisis.
really is.
You're talking about girls, right?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry,
you're talking
Patrick's
about
face,
raiding
like-
their dressers for their underpants, right?
oh yeah.
Well, count me in.
Not only is it weird for Patrick,
Yeah.
of all people, to mention doing it in the first place, but for Mr. Krabs,
Oh, yeah.
middle-aged crab, he's so like amped up about this, about the idea, and it's like, don't you have a daughter at home, Mr. Krabs? Let's think about this.
Oh yeah.
But given that this episode was polled in
Daughter or
2018,
stepdaughter? I
am
don't get it.
90% sure it was because
That's something we don't know because, first of all, they never mentioned if Pearl was his daughter, adopted daughter, or stepdaughter because there's no way that Crab banged the whale. There's a lot of fan art saying that Krabs found her while her mother got killed by whalers. I saw that fan art comic, which, Jesus Christ. But, yeah. Most people are connected to Pearl's real dad is a prisoner, which, yeah, he's actually in the background while Mrs. Puff was sent to prison. But yeah, this is just bonkers.
the sexual harassment allegations they had to deal with
Yep.
involving Chris Savino, Dan
Oh, yeah.
Schneider, and John Kay. The timeline
Yeah.
definitely checks out for that one to be the case at the very least. Next, we have Tailspin, Flying Dupes. Why did this one get hit?
Tailspin.
Flying planes in the air. Yeah, it's terrorism. For the Zoomers in the audience,
Come
Tailspin
on.
was an early
It's a comic.
1990s spinoff of Disney's The Jungle Book,
Yeah.
but in an alternate timeline. Because
Baloo's
why the
the
hell
pilot.
not? This time, Baloo and his friends are pilots in
Yeah.
the late 1930s in an island town called Cape Suzette. So pretty much it's the Oops
Yeah.
All Furries version of Porco Rosso. Tailspin had a solid run, lasting for about 65 episodes in one season.
Damn.
But the reason it's on this list is because the final episode,
Oh,
the
was it a
finale,
bomb?
is kind of insane. Like, the concept alone is wild. Baloo is tricked into delivering a bomb disguised as a package to
Oh,
a
yeah.
neighboring foreign country. But the client involved is a war profiteer who specializes in making explosive weapons.
Oh.
Here's a map of the Vimbrian High Marshal's new summer home. And here's his housewarming present. It must be delivered by 3 o'clock today, or the deal's off. It's ticking.
Because of the obvious terrorism vibes of this episode, it aired
Oops,
once
sorry.
before being
Flying
pulled
Dupes.
from reruns by Disney. It accidentally re-aired on Toon Disney once in 1999, but otherwise, it's been completely removed from streaming on Disney+. I was able to find a copy of the Toon Disney version on the Internet Archive if you want to check it out. It is truly something else.
Oh, why do I get the feeling this flying lesson plan's about to blow up in my face?
You get what you were
And
doing
finally,
for.
we have Beavis and Butthead
Oh,
comedians. Why'd this one get hit? Arson. Much like The Simpsons, Beavis and Butthead became a target for controversy during the early 1990s. But this next story takes a deadly turn.
Which
the first
one?
episode of season 3, Comedians, involves our
Oh,
two
I
idiot
remember this
leads
one. This is the one
failing
where they
to
burned
win
down
over the
the
crowd at a
Chuckleheads.
stand-up comedy club.
Yeah.
Instead, Beavis starts burning newspapers on stage in a bad attempt at juggling and burns the club down. About a week after this episode was released, there was a news report of a copycat fire happening at a trailer in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
The story reported on a 5-year-old boy accidentally setting his 2-year-old sister on fire, killing her. I don't want to... This is sad. I don't want
Sorry.
to read this anymore.
Oh,
The other
sweet.
ones are funny. The other ones are fine. This
Yeah.
this one I don't like. Their mother claimed he had done it after seeing the episode. MTV acted quickly and removed the episode from reruns, changed their time slot to later in the evening, and cut down on future references to
Sorry.
fires in the series. Sorry, Beavis. Apparently, these allegations were a hoax. The younger sister did pass away due to arson, but
Yep.
neighbors had claimed the family did not have cable and could not have watched it. So whatever happened was still a tragedy, but Beavis and Butthead don't seem to be responsible for influencing what happened there.
Ooh,
Poor Beavis and
I'm falling
Butthead, they took
asleep.
the rap for nothing. So overall, I'm not really shocked that the majority of these episodes were banned or went unaired. Some of them honestly shouldn't have been made to begin with, but I suppose that's what makes them so interesting. Checks and balances between TV networks and creators have gotten more annoying since then. If anything, it feels a bit too sterile and boring nowadays. But it genuinely depends on the network involved. Some of them are from overly conservative networks, worried about bad optics that end up making mountains out of molehills, or going overboard with censorship to a ridiculous degree. If you want an amazingly petty case of that, check out the Gravity Falls Not S&P Approved saga on YouTube. It is one of the funniest things ever, and it sounded like an absolute nightmare to go through.
Yeah.
Pour one out for Alex Hirsch, the absolute legend. But in many other cases, like most of the examples on this list, there was a legit problem with the content being portrayed for this audience. In general, I am very anti-censorship, and believe showrunners should be able to tell the stories and messages they want to get into. But ultimately, the networks are going to pull back on material that goes a bit too far or veers into bad taste. I'm looking at you, John K. What especially sucks about this now is that the volume of content on YouTube geared towards kid audiences has made quality control basically impossible to keep in check. Because as we've all recently seen, YouTube truly does not care as long as it brings in ad rev. I know I've already done a handful of videos about this issue specifically, but to my knowledge, there hasn't been another major crackdown since ElsaGate to address the flood of AI content slop and the farms out there that generate it, and how that garbage is taking over the platform. So in hindsight, these censored cartoons are nothing compared to the problems we see now. Sometimes standards and practices, it's a good thing, because currently we're seeing the opposite play out when there are no standards whatsoever. But hey, here's hoping that changes are in the near future to keep this AI garbage in check. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts. What do you all think? Tell me down below in the comments. I'll see you all next time.
So yeah, I agree with Saber right here. There's a whole lot more of censored cartoons than just this list. There's a whole lot. And this is from last year, so... Wait, really? Let's say, like, when? Let's see. Yeah, last year. That's insane, like, holy shit. And the reason why she started riding a scooter, this is a different story I'm talking about. She switched jobs because, censorship. And this is just total bullshit. People should enjoy cartoon what it is without being feared of these so-called woke morons. But yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Oh boy, I'm feeling sleepy. So sorry. But yeah, overall I do agree with Saber about censored cartoons. This is getting way out of hand. I think the only ones that are actually giving the current administration a middle finger is South Park. And they're set to be come back this year in September. So, yeah. I think that'll be for today. If you enjoyed this video, give a like, subscribe, and also leave a link to the original video down below. And also subscribe to South Park. He makes great content. And I'll leave a link to his channel at the end of this video. Until then, have a great day, have a great night, stay safe, peace out, see ya. And good night.